You're listening to Control Talk Now with your host, Ken Smyers and Eric Stromquist. Hi, this is Eric Stromquist. Welcome to Control Talk Now, your control news of the week. I'm here with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the one, the only, Ken Smyers from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, who is not in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania today. So, hey, Kenny, what's up?
How you doing, Eric? No, I'm up in Smithfield, Rhode Island, so different environment. It's cold, but sunny, so spring's on its way.
Okay, so our sponsor this week for Control Talk Now is Belimo Air Controls. Kenny, you've handled them for a long time. We have too. They're pretty much an industry standard when it comes to valves and actuators, and we're going to talk a little bit more about their new products in the product section. But Kenny, get us kicked off. What do we have first?
Well, just to follow real quick up on Belimo, they're out of Danbury, Connecticut. Belimo Air Controls is coming off a 6.9% increase in profits in the year 2012. Kicking it off with our news of the week. We start off with our people and our organizations this week. We're looking at some organizations. We start off with the National Comfort Institute. This is a contractor resource for diagnostics for airflow, combustion, and they provide global support to contractors around the world to make them more comfortable and to make the world more comfortable and efficient.
Yeah, I think, we actually posted a video. You did a post on those guys this week, Kenny. It looks like a great organization. We'll put the link down so that you can check that out. What's next?
Next up is ASHRAE. We started the ControlTrends series on the ASHRAE. It's an incredible organization, a society that's been in existence since 1894. And we're going to keep reviewing the history, the significance, and the importance of this very important engineering society.
Fantastic. Yeah, and of course, ASHRAE is where the ControlTrends Awards take place. And you guys stay tuned. In the next couple of weeks, we have a very special announcement about the 2013 ControlTrends Awards. But you're only going to find out about it at ControlTrends.org. What's next, Kenny?
The third organization is the Women in HVAC. And it was a great discovery for the ControlTrends community because we're looking at an organization run by the president is Patti Ellingson. We'll be doing a Skype interview with Mr. Eric Stromquist, and Patti will be talking, giving us more information about their history and what they're trying to get accomplished. But basically, it's exclusive for educational purposes to further the growth in all areas of the HVAC industry, particularly for women. So we're looking forward to learning more about that and getting more participation from the women in our industry.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to doing that interview, so we'll look forward to that. Okay, Kenny, what do we have next?
Well, we're moving on to products, Eric. We spoke about Belimo, and there's a couple of really two important products that came out of the Belimo, off of the Belimo shelves this probably in the last month or two. But the Globe Valve Solutions, we've already got a couple installed, and they work meticulously. No problems. They take about 95% of the applications and they solve them. They're engineered to suit a broad range of HVAC applications, and they give the contractor and the distributors the ability to select, to install, and service hassle-free.
You are too. Belimo's known for rock-solid engineering. Their stuff just works. And of course, their energy valve, which has been featured on ControlTrends quite a bit, was the 2012 Commercial Product of the Year. So Belimo's continues to do some great things. So hats off to Gary Weber and his team at Belimo.
There's articles now, or white papers being generated that say 70% of the economizers that are in operation throughout the United States do not work properly. And one of the chief goals of the ZIP Economizer control is to solve that, to provide the efficiency and energy savings that that owners expect for paying for those types of equipment. So it works in practice as well as theory.
Well, fantastic. And Belimo just has an awesome economizer control that they're rolling out. So we'll be covering that on ControlTrends as well.
Next up, Eric, is the GPS 2400, which was featured on the ControlTrends film or blog film with the cigar industry, and how it's an amazing product. It's from Global Plasma Solutions, and To explain what it does is any forced air heating or cooling system, the GPS technology produces natural friendly oxidizers that seek out contaminants and odors and breaks them down to gases that are harmless compounds and reduces particulates, which kill mold. So I mean, we're talking about a pretty impressive, formidable product that's pretty pint sized.
Yeah, we really are, Kenny. It is incredible. So essentially the way it was explained to me, and I'm not a chemist, is it does an ionization process. So it actually gets both the positive and the negative ion. So essentially like mold, bacteria, dirt, odor particulates, they get sucked into this thing and they just sort of drop to the ground. So you install it in your HVAC unit. So anytime the fan's running, this product is purifying your air. So what's great about this, there have been a lot of these things out. I don't know if you remember, there was a company called ASHRAE Series many years ago, and they had had an ionizer, but it was what they call an ozone ionizer. And the ozone thing can be very dangerous. As a matter of fact, there's speculation that those guys might have gone out of business because of the harm that particular ozone ionizer did. The global plasma, Kenny, is not. So it's rock solid. I installed a couple in my house, and just to put it in perspective, I have 3 floors, 3 units. We started with the bottom floor. We have 2 dogs, a bulldog and another dog. And these dogs, Kenny, they stink. That's all I can say. No matter how much you bathe them, they get dirty and they just smell. So we installed the one on the first floor first. We went up to the second floor to do it, the third floor. About 30 minutes after the first one was installed and running, Kenny, it's like I walk downstairs, the odor's gone. It's like you're breathing the air in the mountains of Switzerland. It's just, it's absolutely amazing how well this works. And the video you were referring to on ControlTrends, Kenny, it was a cigar bar, which those things are notorious for having, bad odor and so on and so forth. And we installed it. You can see it. The cigar bar owner, very, very happy with that. It's a great product. I mean, you guys sell it. We have it. We're sort of introducing this to the industry. The other thing, Kenny, that is really, really huge about this, because if you think about when we bring outside air in, right, we're bringing that in basically because the theory is that if you have enough outside air coming in, you're going to kill the germs, or at least sort of wash them out, so that the germs and stuff like that in the building. Well, these things, they've done studies on them, Kenny. If you have one of these in, because they're killing the germs and the bacteria and things like that, if you're designing a building, the studies they've shown you can actually design your piping and your airflow, you can reduce it by 30 or 40%. So think about the savings that could go into that, because you're not having to compensate for bringing in a ton of outside air for indoor air quality. So fascinating product. We're going to be doing more on it. Until we do, please either reach out to me or Kenny. We'll be glad to help you any way we can with that.
Great. Next up, we have Sky Foundry. John Petsy's been featured on ControlTrends a couple of times, from the CTAs up to present with an interview. But after seeing another event that we'll be talking about here shortly, basically, now that you have all the data, now what? The Sky Foundry is going to continue to make inroads. They have over 4,000 instances of Sky Foundry in operation right now, and it's because owners have very specific needs. They want to know what's going on, and Sky Foundry is a tool that does that.
Yeah, Sky Foundry is really cool, and yeah, you're right, Kenny. We've done a couple interviews with John Petsy. There's one we posted last week, so be sure to check that out. We'll put a link to it in the post. Okay, so Kenny, there was a very interesting acquisition this week in the last couple of weeks. Why don't you tell our viewers about that?
Sure, Eric. ACI, which is the Automation Components Inc., bought TRS, which was a pretty well-established wireless provider. And now ACI is continuing the wireless world in motion. Wireless and mesh networks using the quality line of reliable, non-intrusive, and cost-effective solutions from ACI. They're going to make an impact, because TRS used to make the components for Honeywell, and we in Western Pennsylvania, we put a lot of those wireless systems in, and they were very, very effective, very reliable. And now that ACI is taking them over, supported by the one and only Barry Gordon, yeah, I'm sure they're going to do quite well.
I think so. I think so. And although Barry was co-winner of the 2012 Best Technical Support Person at the ControlTrends Awards, ACI also has a lot of other really good people too. So it's not just on you, Barry, although we do count on you a lot. All right, Kenny, what do we have next?
All right, we're moving into the event section of ControlTrends now, ControlTalk now. The there were several very interesting presentations in the building automation intelligent building world. The first was J2 Innovation. They came up with FinTV on March 21st. If you missed it, I'm sure that you can check the archives on J2 site. And it's continued to hone in on a very interesting, important product. Next up is the ABG of Smart Intelligent Buildings webinar. That was actually March 19th, so that probably should have been the first one we mentioned. But ABDG stands for Analytics, Building Automation, and Asset Data and Graphics. And this is an incredible synergy coming together. I call it the intelligent stack, because now you have your level where you have your physical layer all the way to the clouds, and it runs through an assortment of providers. We had LinkSpring, Eagle Technology, Sky Foundry, and DG Logics both take turns increasing the importance of this synergy, where you take the smart controls provided by LinkSpring, the data repository capabilities of Eagle Technology, the analytics that can be that Sky Foundry provides, and then the dashboard where DG Logics provides the real-time and meaningful representation. And they have an interesting acronym called SUN, which is to see, to understand, and to neutralize, which means to fix the problem. So very cool concepts coming out.
And DG Logics, they won the 2012 ControlTrends Graphical Interface Tool of the Year, so that is some very nice stuff. Our friend Eugene Mazzo and his team, very elegant dudes. I mean, it's a stylish graphics package. What can I say? I mean, it's really elegant, really beautiful, very customizable. So cool stuff, Kenny.
Well, I highly recommend the ControlTrends community find that wherever it's being archived. I think probably Eagle Technology. But Mark Peacock did a really good job, and he explained the way intelligent buildings were, the way they are today, and where intelligent buildings are going.
You know, Kenny, we ought to reach out to Mark, and we ought to see if we can get a copy of that and post it on ControlTrends so our viewers don't have to look around. So I'll make a commitment to get hold of Mark Peacock this week, see if we can get it posted on ControlTrends.
Well, that'd be a good one. Next up is the events coming in the future. It doesn't slow down. It just keeps on going. We got some very good stuff. Hardy HR Organizational Conference, April 14th through the 16th in Florida. We have the CGNA meeting in Boston, the 24th and 27th through the 27th of April. And then there's a big one coming up. And this is another growing dynamic in our industry. It's the IBCon, Realcomm, Infocom meeting being held in June 12th through the 13th, 2013 in Orlando, Florida. Now, this is a very interesting show now because Tritium's now behind it, and they're getting they're covering all of the aspects in intelligent buildings, from the lighting. I mean, it's just, so we're seeing this migration, almost like the Connect 2013 coming together, where it's from the community, for the community, by the community. So it's this synergies coming together now, and it's an amazing thing, and people need to start making some adjustments to business as usual, because it's not going to be there. So everybody's moving the cheese around, and in order to be successful, you're going to have to keep up with what's happening, and these new synergies are going to become more and more important in our business. The intelligent building is a real thing. Government's going to get back into the game, offering rebates and incentives. Energy is becoming, it's never going to go down, Eric. Let's face it. Gas, probably, we're not going to see it go down. We're not going to see utilities ever go down. So what can we do? We've got to build things more efficiently. We've got to use space more efficiently. We just can't waste energy.
Well, I think the great news with that, Kenny, is the fact that, you know, it's never been a better time to be a building owner. The controls are there. You have more choices in different players that can put your stuff together. The systems are open. The integration is open, so you can bring your lighting, your HVAC, and your access and security together. And then with companies like J2 Fin, Sky Foundry, DG Logics, I mean, you can get a graphical interface so you can get the information you need to make those decisions in a format that you like and that you want. So. And of course, then you got ControlTrends, because you're right, Kenny, keeping up with this is something that it's almost a full-time job, as you and I are finding out. So hopefully we can keep you guys ahead of the curves on Hopefully we can keep you guys ahead of the curve on ControlTrends.org.
Well said, Eric.
Okay, Kenny, well, I think that about wraps it up for this episode of Control Talk Now. This is Eric Stromquist. You can find me and Ken Smyers next week on ControlTrends.org, and if not, be sure to check us out on Control Talk Now.
Indeed.